What's going on, guys? Ziad here from Between the Lines. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of our podcast. Today's conversation will be just solely around the weekend's games that happened over the weekend, obviously. Arsenal, Chelsea, Barcelona played, but we don't have our Chelsea boy here, sadly.
It seems he was going to bring too much positive energy. This going to be a
Oh,
somber
actually,
episode.
thank God, thank God. Like, I'm actually kind of glad because the shit he was texting, I couldn't handle it. When
Eh,
Chelsea win, you're gonna hear it. That's the issue. So let's hope Liverpool don't flop and Chelsea win the title. Oh my god, I can't even imagine it.
Have to
His
cheer on
Twitter,
Liverpool. Might be a sad timeline.
I can't even imagine his Twitter, the shit he would start saying. But yeah, so today it's me and Wassim only. We'll keep the episode brief, talking about the Barcelona game. We're gonna go a little bit over Chelsea and the City game. I think I want to talk about more of the City game and what happened. I feel like a lot of things kind of were shown there, and especially with Garnacho and Rashford being dropped, I would love to kind of go more in depth in that. The first game we want to talk about is the Arsenal Everton. Actually, before we do that, I just want to look at the predictions we did last week. I'll go
Yeah,
over it
the
quickly.
predictions might have been a debacle for everyone.
The predictions, you guys didn't see the episode because we had also again technical fucking issues with shit not getting uploaded. But last week we did a prediction, and I'll just kind of go over what we said and who got it right. But it was a disaster. That's what I'll say. Arsenal Everton finished 0-0, of course. I said it's going to finish 3-0 for Arsenal, and Moe and Wassim said 4-0. Which obviously didn't happen. We'll talk about it more.
Oh,
City
brother.
United might be funnier though. I said City 4-1. Wasim said 3-2, and Mo said 3-1 United, which was the closest one, to be honest. Then Chelsea Brentford. The game finished 2-1 for Chelsea. And Wasim said 3-1, Mo said 4-1, and I said 3-2. So we all got it
Damn, I
wrong.
was close.
Another bad one, Barcelona Leganes, sorry. 3-1 Barcelona. Wasim said 3-0, and I said 3-0. And it ended up 0-1 to Leganes. So,
That was disgusting.
again, something else we want to talk about. And the last one we did was PSG Lyon, which was actually very close for both Mo and Wasim to get. Where they predicted, actually, no, Mo predicted 2-1 Lyon, and Wasim predicted 2-1 PSG. And I said 2-2, and I finished 3-1. So we got nothing right that game, that week, but I feel like it's been a crazy ass week where predictions were not there.
The vision was there. The players didn't perform.
In a normal world, those score lines make sense, you know. But we'll talk more about the game. So we can start off with Arsenal Everton 0-0. First, we'll see what I'll say is I feel like a lot of people were pissed off at not winning this game and not scoring. I think Arsenal fans, especially, are kind of getting fed up with not being able to really create many quality chances over the game. What do you think happened against Everton?
Listen, we can talk about Arsenal fans later because the toxicity is starting to come up from like the 2010 to like 2015 toxicity is like kind of back in full force. But we'll settle on the game for now.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think what annoyed me about the game was it felt like the players thought they were going to win, and I saw no urgency at all. And it felt like there was no urgency from the
yeah,
beginning for the entire game.
yeah,
The first half, what might have been one of the like, what a waste of a
guys.
first half. 45
Yeah,
minutes of nothing.
yeah,
Back in the day, we used to even back in the day last season, we used to like blitz team at the Emirates in the first 20 minutes.
yeah, 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 yeah. And the
But
game's
no,
3-0. Yeah,
like there was just but what I know was that there was no effort. It felt like the teams thought that like the way that the game played was we were like winning 3-0 at like the first whistle.
yeah,
That's how
yeah,
we played.
yeah. Like, no,
There
what
was
seems to
no
be thinking the team thought this was a guaranteed win. We don't have to really be that intense, and it kind of
to be honest,
backfired.
that's for me that's what it looked like cuz like it
Yeah,
wasn't about like maybe late in the game when the plays were like, "Oh, we're tied." Like maybe they were starting to like maybe attempt to break through and at that point they were struggling.
yeah,
But like yeah, the first half was just disgusting. I think I'm not surprised with this result, even though I predicted a high scoring game because it should
yeah,
have been.
yeah,
Um, I am not unlike the Arteta outside. because I think like the things that he needs to fix are like adjustable on his end, but some of these players capped off.
Like limit wise, how good they could be.
Like like before I was like, oh, we need a striker bad, and we still do, but
Yeah.
I need a left winger badly. It's like almost half of the season, and we spent it playing either Martinelli for one game, Trossard one game, and they're worse than each other. And
But
Sterling,
it seems like this is a normal thing happening to a lot of teams, and especially in the Premier League. There's no left wingers. Like
no,
seriously,
but
if you look at it.
like even if you look at our last couple of games, even Monaco, even United, the focus on Saka's side is unbelievable. Like there is
Yeah,
zero
yeah,
contribution coming from our left. Like if you see all our highlights, they're all coming from the right side with Saka.
yeah, yeah.
And
Always,
even
always.
today, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to Timber, but he refused to like overlap at all with the help
Yeah,
Saka. He was just doubled, and like there was just no overlap. He just kept cutting into the middle, and I'm like, just give the man some help. And you would think if we're getting doubled on the right side, and there's so much focus, the left hand side will do something.
yeah,
Martinelli should be arrested for not beating
yeah,
Ashley Young, 39-year
yeah,
old Ashley Young, once.
yeah. He had a great game, Young. Honestly, but Young
I
is
don't, he
having a
didn't
great
actually even
season
have a
too.
good game. What did Martinelli do? He's non-existent.
Yeah, yeah,
But we need a left winger badly. Like there's genuinely, and this is what happened. Like people can make fun of, oh, Arsenal are in phase 8, oh, like Baleska's in phase 1. And no offense, Baleska's doing good, but the way the board operates for Chelsea, phase 1 to
different.
phase 8 transfer market wise,
Yeah,
everything is done already.
I agree.
Arsenal labors in the transfer window so much, selling, buying players. They can't sell a player. Like
Yeah,
we terminated Aubameyang just for you guys 1 year after to sell him. That's how
yeah, yeah,
badly
yeah,
our board is, and they
yeah,
can't buy players. This transfer window that we had is criminal. The team literally, you would think if we finish second, we're gonna improve, buy a couple players. We bought players
yeah,
in the wrong places, and we're suffering for it. Similar thing is happening to City, in my opinion. They did not improve at all. In fact, they sold a couple of players, and now they're like
yeah,
struggling too. But
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I think this season is pretty much a write off. If we get top
You don't
four,
think you're in a title race?
there's
I know you've been saying that. No, but
the thing is we don't have a consistent
consistent.
run in us because these
Yeah,
kind of results happen. This
yeah,
one for me, what triggered me was like the nonchalant effort,
yeah.
but like these results are happening with us too regularly this season for us to go on a run
Way too
compared to
regular.
like
Yeah,
other like there's just too many deficiencies. We did not improve. I think it's just about getting top four and maybe putting in like a good shift in Champions League, but that's about it.
but here's the issue with this team. So I think you guys have hit a ceiling, and I know you mean what you're saying. You need a left winger. You obviously need a striker. So I agree with you the phase 8 part because now I'm thinking to myself, Wasim, like you guys need to go out there and spend money, real money, on quality left winger and strikers. Because yes, you say Martinelli's bad, and I agree with you. Martinelli hasn't been playing well, but what's out there with the money that you maybe want to spend at 60 million, you're not really getting a winger that maybe will be a title defiant
But
player. So
right
you need
now,
to
like,
spend a big money. Like if you want like a layout, for example,
and
you need big money.
that's what it should have been.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Yeah,
Like
it should have been like that.
like you telling me this transfer window, we knew we need a left winger. We spent 3 months not buying a left winger just for, oh, Arteta wanted Sterling to get him on loan last day of last day of the transfer window. They're just not getting his players. I think like Arteta wise, I would keep him until like then see if he gets top four because that's my bare minimum for me. If you can get top four with this team at least, I accepted that. I don't think this team is like strong enough to win the
Title.
Premier League,
Yeah.
just because there is four different positions we can improve on, which we have to. I think if we need to win the league, left back because I like Calafiori, but we somehow got someone as injury prone as Tomiyasu, Tierney, and fucking Zinchenko.
Yeah, man.
Center
That was
midfield,
tough.
I still want an improvement on Partey. Left winger, and I defend Havertz, but I still think we can get a better striker. Jesus is the one that needs to get binned ASAP.
Well, see,
But
we
there's
just
four
named like
positions.
five. Yeah, 4 or 5 positions where
That's
you
four
need improvement.
positions you need to
Yeah,
do good to win the Premier League. Like there's four positions. I'm happy with my right back, the two center backs, the keeper, right winger,
yeah.
and the two one the number 10 and one of the center midfielders. But you need to improve.
Yeah. You need to prove, and that's the only way you win. And I think the recruitment is the biggest issue. I feel like that's like you said, it's like similar to City, where the recruitment has been awful, and maybe losing some players in certain positions that you might have needed. and Arsenal going through this thing where they're trying to, I guess, still be in the title race. But I feel like games like this is a must win. If you want to win the title, at the end of the day, like, listen, like we talked about today, me and you, we've been watching football for a very long time. There are things that are just trends that are consistent every season. And we know from teams in the past that if you don't win games like similar to this, typically you don't go on to win the title, right? So like Arsenal need to improve.
Against top six, our team is unbelievable. Like we
Yeah.
haven't lost that top six team, I think, in the past like two
So
and
what
a
do you
half
think it is?
seasons.
Is it a mental issue, like that they can lock in for a big game, but they can't
No,
for
they have
small
to
games?
consistently be able to like beat the low block teams. It's just about low blocks,
Yeah,
but like you have to see intensity. I like the
yeah,
players can like there needs to be intensity and urgency. I think what Arteta needs to do, at least on his end, is take the handbrake off. I think like Wenger said it once. He's like, the worst you can do to a team is just be more cautious and like limit
yeah,
them
yeah,
that way.
yeah,
Because like
yeah,
teams should already like these players should be already cautious about losing, like because of like their mentality. Like they shouldn't
yeah,
like they already should be worried about like making mistakes and stuff. You shouldn't have to like even instill it more in them than it already is.
yeah,
Like
because there should be the
if a
fire to
players
win the
are
title.
winners, they're already going to be cautious enough.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Like
exactly. And they need to be going off. They need to be going out there trying to win every single game, hunting it down. Like I feel like the lack of effort showed.
yeah, it was just a lack of effort, and it just too little, too late. Once you like, you shouldn't start. You shouldn't be a second half team. You should start from the beginning of the game.
Yeah. So also, I was thinking Mo mentioned, Namna mentioned this last week too, but also Pep mentioned it too, where he's like, it seems like teams have to go to 25 players. Too many games are going on. I really, really, really believe that you City are struggling with that right now. That could be a reason why you didn't see intensity. Intensity needs a lot of work. I need a lot of legs moving, right? So maybe the intensity is not there because the amount of games and your team is very, very minimal to where you can switch, especially in big games or games you
But
need
then
to
there's
win.
also like on fault like
Yeah,
these people can't buy players, and they can't even sell players. Like we sent out Fabio Vieira on loan, Nelson on loan. They might not be good enough, but I would have taken bringing them on this game because there was just no options.
yeah,
And this is why I wasn't as like pissed off with Odegaard being subbed off because
mm,
honestly, he had an atrocious game, which I assumed it was due to fitness because we just threw him in since he's back in every game.
yeah.
So I assumed he took him out early due to fitness, but honestly, like he had such a bad game. I would have taken out Moreno, but obviously, if Odegaard was not fit to continue, you might as well take him off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to look at it more long term, and it's Everton. But do you want to talk about that? We can talk a little bit. Like Arteta out, Hive now coming out. Like, why do you think that's just unbelievable, or why do you think that's crazy?
Because the thing is, Arsenal fans have this god like complex about we like are like title winning teams and we should be winning like a Premier League or like a Champions League every year. And I'm like, we haven't won like a major trophy since like 2004.
Mm,
And the progress that he's been making is like from finishing eighth with that level of team that we had back then. Like it's like completely different team.
yeah,
My issue is that when I look at the team and I look at him, there you could see like that it doesn't always have to be, oh, we can improve on the manager. It should be improving on the players because there's a few positions like we talked about that need to be improved on.
yeah.
I don't think many managers can do better than it is that are available.
Mm-mm.
Like
So
who
you're
are you?
saying it's a squad issue, not a manager
I
issue?
think it's a squad issue because there's a few positions they're just not good enough right now, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
should have been dealt with, but they're not dealt with. I think the issue is right now Edu left, which I believe honestly should have been sacked. But now there's a new director of football. There needs to be like options coming in. I personally like if Arteta ever was to leave, and I did say I will only be Arteta if he finishes outside of the top four.
Four. Yeah,
I would get Nagelsmann just because it reminds me of like Wenger ball to a point.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But for now, I won't. I've been consistent. Unless he gets out of top four, uh, I would want to keep him in because I think there's a bigger issue, which is a squad issue that needs to be dealt with.
I can see
Because
your
I
point as
don't
a
believe
squad
some of the
issue.
players. are his. Moreno, I can get which is that he is his player, which is disappointing personally because I just don't think he's good enough because he
Yeah,
just slows us even more down.
yeah,
Like Rice Moreno is just too slow in the
yeah,
transition.
yeah.
But I cannot believe like players like Sterling are his. Like you tell me waited like
And
three
do you
months
think
to
he
get
was
Sterling.
forced? Yeah, he was forced.
It's like it's forced or it's like oh here's something.
Yes, something. Yeah,
On top of the fact that they genuinely cannot sell players to even get money for him to buy
yeah,
players.
yeah, yeah. Damn. Do you think it's also maybe an academy issue?
The thing is, some of our academy
They're good,
like
but they're
some of the
not.
academy are good. They're not as good as before.
Yeah.
But like not many teams use their academy. Like Chelsea can say, "Oh, we developed this player," but like none of them like stay. They just sell them like to every other
But that's what I
team.
mean, Wasim. I'm saying like to get good players to sell, to make money, to make profit. Like
But no, but
that's
they
the
can't
thing you
even
want to
sell
do to get.
they just sign them on these extreme like wage bills, and then they just can't
Yeah,
sell them,
yeah,
or they buy just too many duds that they can't sell them later. Like Zinchenko, they're gonna sell for peanuts if they even. We still have Tina in our
yeah.
club that they cannot sell for like 3 years. They keep sending him out on loan
What?
because they can't sell him. Like Fabio Vera send him out on loan because we can't sell him properly. Nelson sent out on loan because we don't know how to sell him.
Yeah, but listen to
They're
these
just
names, the
incapable of
bums,
selling players.
and also like maybe are they on high wages too?
Yeah, like in Ketya
Yeah.
before they were able to sell him, he was on 100K.
And look at
Like
Kitty right now, by the way,
and like even
horrible.
Ozil on a big contract terminated,
Yeah,
couldn't sell him. Lacazette
yeah,
let his contract expire, and then he let his contract expire. Socrates terminated. Aubameyang terminated. Like they're just incapable of doing like
damn.
the board like basics.
Yeah, the business it seems to be off, so that's hurting the managers, so it's hurting the whole team.
Like you tell me, you went from like in the summer, oh, we're interested in Cisco or Isak to getting nothing. Okay. Oh, they're interested in Nico Williams, who I actually believed was like unrealistic. But okay, that's what you're
Yeah,
interested. You end up with Sterling. It's just you're not improving on the team, and then the team becomes stagnant. Like the team hit a ceiling.
yeah, 100%. And like you need quality players in different positions, or you stagnate and you don't go over.
Like
But
they say, oh, he spent that 700 million. I'm like, okay, Chelsea's team is 1.2 billion. Does anyone care? Or like, how
yeah,
many other like do we want? Should we look at how much United has spent since Arteta took over Arsenal or Spurs? They all spend. It's just about you just need to keep spending to actually improve the team.
yeah, yeah, and that's literally the only way, in my opinion, in a modern way. Even if you win a title, you have to right away in the summer be able to, okay, where are we seeing weaknesses, and let's go from there. And that's what City was doing so well and for so many
Yeah,
years, and that's why they were winning titles.
but yeah, unfortunately, like for the rest of the season, I expect unfortunately some of these results to happen. So I think
Yeah,
it's just Arsenal might
top
just
four.
want to focus on like the cup competitions and maybe like just make sure to like get top four for this year.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe start trying to win a title. To be honest, Carabao
Yeah.
Cup, Champions League. What do you think, Champions League or?
Listen, I'm realistic. I would love to get to like quarters or semifinals of Champions League. I think winning it is like going to be tough because again, these players haven't experienced that like high
Yeah,
intensity like pressure. Like
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
just haven't like they got to the quarterfinals, but like they haven't experienced the tough like pressure of semifinals or finals. So it's going to be tough.
Unfortunately,
But I would
yeah.
love to be in that position.
Unfortunately, it seems like teams have to go to having 25 players in the squad, rotate a lot, and go to City at the Chelsea route. But I think we've talked enough about Arsenal, to be honest. But yeah, like
Enough, enough. My
a,
sadness already kicked in.
a lot about honestly Arteta on in, it's debatable, but I do agree with you at the end of the day.
It's too early to like jump ship and start flip flopping and like Arsenal Fan TV already started with their negativity. It kicked in. They're about to make their money again.
Yeah, you're actually right. This is
The
a money
characters
thing too.
already started coming out.
Here we go. Just don't watch, please. Do not go to Arsenal Fan TV, please. I beg you. Don't do that to your brain. Uh, Listen, we can talk about Liverpool, Fulham. Red card should have been lose, should have lost. Then Jota savior, what Trossard can't do. Crazy, honestly. I think it kind of gives some hope to some teams. So I wish you guys won though,
I
but
think the positivity though for Liverpool is that they actually were able to come back twice. I know Fulham were missing
yeah,
their center backs, but like they
yeah,
should have been able to handle the business once they went up the second time.
yeah,
But honestly, I thought this was going to be a comfortable game until obviously I didn't expect Robertson to
red
get a red
card,
card
yeah,
early in the game.
Yeah,
But it is still positive for Liverpool to be able to get back into the game.
yeah. No, I think it was impressive. And listen, again, they actually outshot Fulham. They outplayed them even with 10 men. And I'm telling you, like Slot right now, man, like he seems to be just doing things so right. Even the substitute, even putting um, Gravenberch in centre back instead of making a sub. That was such a great utilization of Gravenberch, and they were playing out of their minds with 10 men, in my opinion. So props to Slot. He's been killing it so far. But crazy that Fulham couldn't win it and finish it off.
I
But
think that's the issue with some of the teams in the Premier League is that they struggle with like managing the game when they're up. I
yeah,
think a lot of teams like suffer that, like some
even
suffer
Brighton,
from that,
yeah,
like Fulham, Brighton.
yeah,
I think that's the next step for some of these teams because like that's like a wasteful 2 points for them. I know like they probably went to Anfield not expecting much.
yeah, yeah.
Like once you're in that situation, you just have to take
You
care of it.
feel hard done by, yeah, for sure. For sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a good game. Props to, again, Liverpool.
I wish I watched that over Everton, Arsenal. Not gonna lie.
Legit. But Vallecano, Real Madrid, by the way, 3-3. Uh, Crazy again. Vallecano is a messy ground to go to. But I also wanted to shout out Bellingham for scoring against, what, I think 7 in a row now. I'm pretty sure.
Man,
But
for me, watching La Liga right now, I see like Madrid and Barca just like going through the same syndrome right now, and we can like jump into the Barca game because I feel like
we can, yeah.
both teams are just like unnecessarily inconsistent in some of these games. Where
It
like
shows the
you
quality. The quality is not good for us. That we're not that good. Like, to be honest, if we're being honest with ourselves.
like Madrid should have like handled their business, but I don't know how. Like, and for me, it's like, oh, Madrid scored three, but somehow conceded three,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
for me
yeah,
is like a big issue because you shouldn't expect the Real Vallecano to hit three past you.
yeah,
But to the Barca game, like I watched like the game and I was like, for me, it felt weird because like I thought you guys deserved to win because
yeah.
like Lewandowski for me missed
A lot of
like
chances.
a lot of chances. Like the first half, honestly, like the keeper made like a couple of clutch saves, but
Yeah,
like Lewandowski the tap, and you know what, the keeper reacted, saved it. The
yeah.
1-on-1 he should have done a lot better.
Way better.
And in the second half, for me, the header was under no pressure. Like he got it and he just skied it over.
Yeah, he had a
Like
horrible game, to be honest. Like a
like
really
uh,
bad game.
like like the thing is watching you guys, like you guys had more than enough, and I think another day you would have scored three or
Yeah,
four of the chances you've had
yeah,
because there was a keeper where he tipped it onto the post, I think from Rafinha,
yeah.
and like couldn't they kind of helped in the second half offensively. I felt like he had a couple of good knockdowns in the box where like a player should have done better.
Koundé had the greatest chance.
Yeah,
Again,
like
Koundé is a
he
big
should have
problem,
finished
man.
it when it
Yeah,
was Fernando Torres. He backheeled, I think, to him.
yeah. It was
Or
such a nice
some-
play, and then he messed it up.
But like, because for me, that's what I took from the game. I'm like, you guys should have finished one of your like you should have not
Yeah,
finished 1-0. Like you guys
I have
actually
no idea how we didn't
broke
score.
them down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We had multiple chances, to be honest. It just seems like this team, like we had again. I'm not gonna go off the Leganes game because again, like you said, like in another day we scored three. I think this is a game where again shows that I don't know, man. I feel like mentally sometimes we're not it, and we it's not like we give up, but like just doesn't hit the same when we're down. And maybe these are games where we have to learn from, and these are games that maybe in the future we'll be thankful for because we'll learn how to either manage the game when we're 1-0 down, or maybe the players will realize that hey, coming into a home game against Leganes is not a guaranteed win. Again, I feel like sometimes players come in and I know they're not underestimating them. They're athletes at the end of the day, but mentally you can't really switch that off sometimes. Like it's like us at home. We have a full team. We have no one injured. You feel confident, but overconfidence is a thing too. Also, I wanted to touch upon like another point was defensive setup and the backup, like where we have our 17-year-old Kabarsi and Inigo Martinez playing week in week out, and we don't really have subs to play them. I feel like that's taking a toll on them, especially when you're again not all 17-year-olds like Lamia Ma can play consistently like that. Maybe Kabarsi can't, but I'm not blaming Kabarsi. But it could be something with the high line. It's intense. It could be hurting him for long term. Another thing is defensive midfielders. We don't really have a proper one. We have Pedri Casero, which Casero is pretty good defensively, but like that's not the reason why they're playing. So again, a month ago we were talking about how good Barcelona were and how they're gonna win the title. They're gonna smoke everyone. But again, people that have been watching this sport, humble yourself sometimes. These things will happen if you go off and become so cocky, like what I saw on Twitter, people talking shit. Like,
But
this is why I don't like talking shit when we're up, because this shit
even
happens.
Atletico Madrid, honestly, they came under the radar. I actually checked the
Yeah,
table, and I'm actually surprised because I thought
yeah,
Atletico were struggling themselves,
yeah, yeah,
but they're like tied with points on you with
exactly.
you guys. So it's
They can
actually
go ahead
turns
of
out to be
us.
very tight.
They can go ahead of us. And
Yeah.
I remember when we beat Real Madrid 4-0, I'm like, yeah, it's nice feeling. But things go up and down in seasons. And ever since then, man, honestly, we've been on a downward spiral. I feel like Tottenham, because Tottenham beats City 4-0, and then they go on a non-winning streak for a while. But to me, again, we're lucky that Real Madrid tied today. The ability to still be a little bit closer to them, because I think they're going to go out first. And Atletico Madrid can go ahead of us if they do win their games. So I think it's a big issue. I think we're sometimes overconfident with how our approach is. Just lack of desire and concentration really hurts us. And we need to, again, like, I feel like we have issues with having backup strikers and wingers and players that Yamal too old to be playing every single game. So you need players to be able to kind of come in and take over the
I feel
role and
like
play
competition is
well.
also key. Like not like Lewandowski, but when in a game when Lewandowski is just missing chances, there's just no plan B on the bench. Let's say, oh,
Yeah,
come get a chance.
I think actually what hurt us was our money, man. Like, because we had Victor Roque, which we had to sell off to Betis. Uh, that was, to me, that our backup striker, to be honest. But our unorganized fucking finances hurt us, and now we're just kind of playing every single game with the same players. I feel like we have a similar problem to Arsenal sometimes, where we have the starting 11 and we really can't go off of that, and we have that issue. So this week, Leganes, we should have won. Kunde, Lewandowski had big chances, and we should have scored and won this game. But it is what it is. We move on to the next
And
game.
honestly, now you guys have a tough game next week because I feel like this stresses into next game, which is like Barca Athletic, which is actually a big game.
I feel like that's the worst time for us to get it. And again, I think I've been worried about every single game going into it, by the way, now. Like, I don't go into games anymore feeling really that confident, and we haven't figured it out. And Atletico Madrid, man, honestly, away from home, they haven't been too bad. And they're on a 5-game winning streak, so we're in trouble.
Getting
So
spicy.
legit, but honestly, it's good for La Liga. More teams to compete. Also, I want to talk about the United actually, just quickly. Honestly, what Amorim did with Rashford, honestly, I don't think Garnacho is more of a performance issue. I'm not gonna lie, because I think Garnacho's playing well. Rashford especially, I think it kind of he tried to make a point, and the point worked, especially getting the win. Maybe the win that didn't really matter because of United. Maybe City were just bad, but that I love that. I love that he dropped him and they got the win. And this looks little bit more positive to him. Maybe this will improve Rashford, and maybe Rashford's uh, thinking that he was undroppable, and this kind of speaks against that.
Well, that's one way to transition into. I guess that we're gonna transition into the City United game.
Yeah, I really liked what he did there, in my opinion. Because some players that think that they're undroppable no matter what, when you're playing like absolute dog shit, you have to get dropped and get humbled.
With Rashford, however, I think it was a training issue, and it seemed like apparently
Could be,
Rashford
yeah.
has this habit with new manager of causing trouble. But it's good to be dropped. I think with Garnacho it was dropped due to like the
That
stuff to do
issue,
with like
yeah. The
leaks
social
and
media,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
But it worked out. But honestly, in regards to like the City United game,
yeah,
we were all off. I personally expected it to be a bit more goal scoring because I felt like that's usually how it is with United City games.
yeah.
But I wasn't surprised with how it
Did
played
you
out.
did you expect United winning?
Here's the thing: I thought the first up to the 88th minute, it played out how I expected it to be.
Mm.
Like City winning, United more so stayed in the game. I don't think at that point in the game they deserved anything from the game personally. Like
Yeah,
they didn't have any like clear like cut chance, or maybe one or two, but it was like kind of very boring, dreadful game in my opinion. It was
yeah,
one of the weaker Manchester derbies,
for
but
sure.
they stayed in the game, and I think one of the things Amorim did make United is more hard to like beat.
Yeah.
Like
The three
on
in
the
the back,
like
man, I can see it being difficult for a lone
like
striker.
organization wise, they're a lot more organized. But
Yeah,
like offensively, outside of like in a similar situation to Arsenal right now, it's just on the right hand side. It's like Diallo and Prey, kind of
yeah.
like it's just like a lot of it is coming from Diallo. So like the left side was non-existent. Hoyland tried. There wasn't much happening, and like honestly, like City just threw the game away. 90 second of madness, and they just tossed the game. Like up to that point, I expected near the end of the game, City was just going to shore up the game,
But
and then
Wasim, I think it's more. Look at the individual mistakes that happened. I could not believe that game.
no, no, like Nunez.
Nunes,
Actually, I,
seriously.
I just but the bad pass. Okay, it was
Yeah,
recovered. To a point, it was recovered. I'm like, okay, Edison
yeah, that's
pressured,
it. Yeah,
and then okay, I'm like, Nunez is gonna come in, and then Edison's gonna drop back to his net, and they're
yeah,
gonna
that's
like
it.
defend it. All
Yeah,
like, and I just see a wild Nunez appear and just clatter him,
yeah. You're this Portuguese prick. I
and I was
cannot
like,
believe it.
okay, and then the second one, such a high line, and
Wasim,
then
I blame
for
Nunes by
me,
the way for that too. I don't know if he saw them in the middle. Like I blame him and I think Valgio too. That defense was horrible.
yeah, and for me, it may be a bit harsh, maybe because like I've been watching like a lot of Ryan, he like comes out a lot, but
Yeah,
like I felt like when that ball, even due to a high line, it went up. I think Edison should have dealt with that.
yeah,
Like he was in no man's land. Let Edison like Diallo take a touch, and then Edison at that point was like done. Like,
yeah.
and I think because of the Edison mistakes in probably against what it's PSV, right, or was it Finer? No, PSV,
Finer,
where like
finer.
he made like those
Oh,
horrendous like come out of the box
yeah,
like and like miss
yeah. He's
intercepted the
been
pass.
really
Maybe
bad this
played in his
season.
mind, so he was like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
don't want to come out," uh, and it was just too like 90 second of madness. And Diallo took like the finish of this like the touch and the finish very nice for the second goal, and it
nicely.
was like
Yeah,
done.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
I'm like it was gonna be a positive game for City because like whatever, 1-0, they won the Manchester Derby and moved
Yeah.
on, and then just threw it away.
Dude, they look so bad. Like seriously, and especially defensively, they make these brain dead decisions. Like I really don't trust that back line. And Guardiola might be more of a left back than more than anything. But Diaz, over the last few seasons, he's been really solid. I just feel like this team has everyone dropped off a level. And intensity, again, I think intensity is a big thing with City. I don't see the intensity as big as
Yeah,
before. Why is Gundogan starting? Is it's not Kovacic over him. I'm not
no,
kidding.
like for me, I'm about like like some teams like even Arsenal having this issue with like scoring goals, for example.
Yeah,
So like goals are less, but like we can count on our back line. You know what? Like Everton 0-0 kind of thing. Like we like whatever a draw. But City are just like the defenders are taking turns making brain dead mistake. One game is Guardiola, one game is Lewis, one game is
yeah,
Walker, one game is. It's just like each person is taking a turn just fumbling a game. And I feel like because sometimes, like right now, the goals are dried up. Haaland is not scoring. They need to
yeah,
figure out a solution for this.
yeah,
Because for me, the wingers are not offering. They stopped playing this. The like I understand maybe you don't have to play to like the strength of the striker every time, but it looks like they got away with it. Wingers are just doing their own thing. It's
can I
like
say Duco is really bad? Like he's really bad. Like horrible.
for for a player for a team that relies on system. The system right now is just non-existent.
Yeah.
Like
But the system was always relying on wingers, and now your wingers are non-reliable. That's the issue. Look at
and that's
Duco
to
and
me
Silva.
to a point of like it comes back to the summer for even City. I'm like they were happy running it back, and I'm like a lot of players were coming into like their finishing line. Like Walker for me is finished.
Yeah,
I always said Walker was good because of his pace, and now he's just finito.
yeah,
The
yeah,
pace
yeah,
is not saving him.
yeah,
Stones is just plays maybe 10 games a season,
yeah,
and maybe they ran it before because like other center backs were available, but now like they have no one, and even their injuries right now is just defenders. So maybe the other defenders like Ake,
yeah.
Diaz come in, less mistakes in the back, but that will not solve the problem up front that they're having too.
Yeah, yeah, like in
So it's
Kansas
just
too.
for me, I'm like, it's a very good win for United, but like City just fumbled that game so badly. Like they just fumbled like five other games before that.
So Wasim, you mentioned the older players. I agree with you. Even like Silva is someone. I'm not saying he's finished, but maybe like after that many years of intense runs, maybe Silva needs a change. But I will say the new signings have been so bad. Nunez and Duco. Like seriously, Nunez
Nunez,
especially. I
Duco,
don't
Savini's
understand.
offering nothing. Savini's not
Yeah,
scoring anything right now, and like they've sold players. Like they sold Alvarez for
yeah.
like what was it, 80 million or so. They got
No,
no
even
one
cheaper.
other than
Yeah,
Savini.
yeah, yeah. I wonder why they
Uh,
sold him. Really, I honestly
he
wonder.
wanted to start, which I get, but
Yeah,
like I would be like, okay, maybe get a plan B. I
yeah,
know
yeah,
you probably can't get like a world class striker because Haaland is gonna start pretty much almost every game.
yeah.
But you can't tell me you couldn't find like any sort of player just to keep a plan B if Haaland is not scoring.
What's
And like
concerning
even
about yeah? Go ahead.
like he's not finished, but for me, like De Bruyne is coming to his finishing. Like they need like an advanced playmaker of some sort because like Foden is not a creative player, so he's not even creating for Holland. Doku and Savinho, Grealish, they all like don't play for like Holland's strength. Other
Yeah,
than De Bruyne's link up with Holland right now, it's like Holland is just not in the game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Haaland is it's kind of concerning. How many games he's just not scoring in or participating in the game. Another point I wanted to bring up is like the subs. To be honest, like his first real sub, I would say the Bruyne sub was forced because he needed him to get off. He gets off Duku off for Grealish, a typical fucking change. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, someone like Nunez is just someone he has to be taken off. You put Kovacic in earlier. You try to maybe put Stones or something. Change it up. The bench is shit, by the way. It's
Oh no,
trash.
I was just bringing you up the bench because I'm like the bench is not existent. Stones,
Who are the
Kovacic, Grealish,
players?
Ortega, Savinho, Simpson, Pusi, Devin Mbama, Nico O'Reilly, James McAtee. What is that?
What Simpson pussy? What the fuck?
And I'm like, even I'm like, if some players get fit, I'm like, okay, Diaz is there, Ake is there. Who's your attacking options other than Grealish there?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just like no creative midfielders are there. For example, it's just gonna bring on Kovic to control the game. Maybe I'm like, there's nothing there on the bench, and it's a similar
yeah.
issue to Arsenal. Both teams, I think,
Yep.
got like, and at least Arsenal, I'm assuming it's a money issue. I don't think it's a City for a money issue. Maybe like due to like
What's
all the
seen
allegations,
the
they're like not
allegations? Yeah,
wanting
man.
to
I
spend
think so.
money.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's just nothing there. And for me right now, I'm like, if Pep leaves, which he signed for 2 years, but if Pep leaves, I'm like, yo, they're in a world of trouble
No, he's not leaving. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna try to
because
fix
I'm
it before
like,
he leaves.
the new coach will be. I feel like outside of maybe Holland,
Yeah,
is gonna be like a shell of a team
yeah, yeah. Dude, I think really, really wonder what Pep thinks about this team right now. Like, I really do because, like you said, imagine a manager taking over this team, and he looks at the team and he's like, "Yo, this team is not good." Like, imagine saying that about City. By the way, like a couple of years ago, we would
uh,
never say that, but it looks
yeah, yeah.
so mediocre.
And like I feel like players are just shook. Like Walker's too busy on social media. My brother, focus on your game.
Dude, people
Like
on
I get
Twitter
it,
are gonna
memes
call
are
you a
tough.
terrorist.
Like,
Yeah, I know.
but I'm like, you just have to ignore it. If you have to disable social media, disable it
Yeah, exactly, dude. You're in an
because it's
intense.
not going to get better until like City starts winning.
Do you think they sign anyone in January?
Um, the thing it's like in what position? I feel like they're so bad that they just need so many players. But
Maybe
I
a
think
defensive midfielder.
because defensively they're going to get someone. I think they really need a proper DM instead of Rodri. Like they might have to look at the Sociedad
Yeah,
midfielder that was
Zubimendi. But
because like
man, I think they need someone like that,
but,
like can be a big player in the midfield.
but like they need for me, and it's controversial, but they need like a Danny Olmo right now. Like they need a creative option
We
because De
have
Bruyne,
it,
I feel
buddy.
like his legs are like gonna be gone, even if neck not like you need someone even for next year instead of De Bruyne because De Bruyne he might retire there, but like you need someone with legs that
Yeah,
can do what De Bruyne does.
yeah. And De Bruyne, like, it just seems like his injury is really bad this season. But De Bruyne still, man, sometimes he does a lot of good things. Especially even when he's injured, like his fitness level, He kills it. This team seems right now just not. It just seems stagnant. The new signings haven't helped. Overall, I think them not making the right signings like Arsenal did, or sorry, like Arsenal like have the same problem, was a big thing for them. But Kovac is not going to really help. Grealish has been in such a shit position for so long, so
It's,
maybe he needs
it's,
to switch.
Grealish is finished, at least under Pep. Like I think Grealish needs to leave for because he's not. This is not Aston Villa Grealish. It's just some bum on the wing.
Yeah, I really, and also, you know what concerns me too is that Pep actually said that he's not gonna go to another team, a club team, after this city team, and he says only international maybe. So I'm like, damn, is this the last team we're gonna see of fucking Pep club team, and it's gonna be ending on a shit show? Let's see. They
I
have the
think this is
summer.
honestly when some managers might overstay their welcome. Like maybe he should
Yeah,
have maybe left after last year's high.
yeah,
Maybe he overstayed and the team is now kind of reached the limit of how much he can take them.
yeah,
And it honestly might be that same with once Klopp honestly started the Liverpool team started running out his team, for example.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
he
yeah.
just Pep just
That's it.
overstayed his welcome and he can't get anything more out of these players. Because look how many players we mentioned, and the downfall of Phil Foden
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
needs to be studied.
We don't even think about him. He's just another day.
It's just another day now.
Yo, but I think actually with Pep, yeah, you're right because you can't stay at a club forever, and the the manager to stay for 20 years at one club is very difficult. I think City actually might be just having also outside issues with the allegations. The allegations went to 130 cases, not 115 anymore. So I think they're getting intense, and I really, really wonder how the legacy of Pep will change if those charges happen, and then the City team, gets stripped away from the titles. Like I wonder what happens. There's a lot of titles to get stripped from, by the way.
The thing is, stripping the titles is gonna create so much chaos because I feel like it's who are you gonna give the titles to? You can't just null avoid those years.
Well,
I feel
imagine
like
giving it the second team.
most likely I feel like they're gonna get relegated.
Yeah, yeah, that's fucked
But
up.
every time I'm yo, there's no way Rodri I know I talked about when we were Odegaard
Makes
was
not much
injured,
of a
but
difference.
was
Yeah,
Rodri holding hands for these players, kind of walking them down the street? I'm confused.
yeah, yeah. It
There's
seems
no
like
way
it.
that it's just one Rodri injury and a complete system just shuts down and players just cannot do the basic things.
Man, I don't know what's wrong with this team, but we'll keep watching. We'll see what happens. Also, shout out to United. Honestly, they play really well. I think the three in the back fits them pretty well with Maguire, Delict. They play together pretty solid when they have three in the back. Maybe these are the centre backs that can't do twin in the back in the Premier League. Uh,
They still can defend set pieces though. This is the third game in a row they concede in a Premier League in set pieces. They did that against us and started crying. Then they concede against Nottingham Forest, and now they concede against City
yeah.
through a set piece.
Yeah, I think today they said like 39%, or now it's probably now like 43% of their goals have been conceded by set pieces. So they have that issue, but again, that's a fixable issue. I think there's a big change in the way they're playing. Even that chance with Bruno, with Holland, we didn't see that for a while, man. So shout out to the team. I think they're doing pretty well. They're looking better and better, and sad for Mount for being injured, to be honest. Uh,
How many times are we going to say Mount injured? My man couldn't last 12 minutes. Time to change sports.
GG. Tennis, maybe. The only thing we wanted to do in the rest of the episode was just do the predictions quickly for the cup games for EFL. EFL? What do you call it? Carabao Cup.
Carabao Cup.
Like,
Honestly, I got comfortable with Carabao Cup. To be honest, it
yeah.
changes names almost every other year.
Fucking money. But we can start off with Arsenal Crystal Palace from Arsenal at home. Do you think you'll switch your team, or do you think you'll
Even
team?
if he switches the teams, I think it'll be two, three players max. I'll be surprised by that. I swear, I feel like he does not trust half of his. That anyone outside of the starting 11, maybe two more players, he doesn't trust them.
Yeah.
I believe in no way, shape, or form we should be losing this because I will be going crazy.
But I'm scared for you guys to lose this, and he makes like six changes.
Because the most changes I can see is maybe he can maybe attempt to rest Timber just because honestly he's probably man managing him. Saka, I think he's gonna play. Maybe he might start Wanyeri,
Yeah,
but and like Jesus, I don't even want to see him on the pitch. I'll play Havertz. Martinelli, trust he will pick his choice. He might flip flop them as per.
he may go Trossard. Yeah,
And there's no one fit in left back, so it will probably be Lewis Skelly. And the center back partnership, I think he will keep. And keepers are top tight, so it will be Raya. So I think most likely maybe three changes will be at top, maybe four. But I think it will be like the same team almost to the week.
do you think Arteta wants to win the cup?
Uh,
Like, is that a priority? You think?
I think once you honestly get to the quarterfinals and you feel like you're facing Crystal Palace and the next step is the semis, I think at that point you have to go for it.
Sorry, who you
Like,
guys facing for semis? Not Crystal Palace. You
uh,
guys playing them in the quarters right now. Who you guys playing
I
in semis?
believe there has to be a draw yet for the next
Draw.
game,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
it's not
but
like
if you look at the other teams, you should get confident too.
because honestly, like so, it's like basically we'll go through other games, but like outside of Liverpool and Arsenal, one of United or Spurs is going to get out to each other.
Yeah.
So it's like Newcastle's there, so it's going to be tight. But I think like City's out, Chelsea's out. You might as well go for it. Like it's just going to be
Only Liverpool.
like Liverpool is the toughest team I think that we're gonna have a struggle against. Like Newcastle, I feel like we can beat.
Yeah.
United or Spurs, we can beat. It's definitely gonna be like Liverpool's like the most favorite team I think out of there.
I hope you guys go to a cup final. I hope Arsenal, Liverpool play in the
But
final.
you know what? We just tied 0-0 to like Everton, so might as well just focus on the game in hand before we think about semis or finals.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. So, what do you think? What's prediction?
Well, my football is a humbler. You know what? Just 2-0 Arsenal.
2-0 clean sheet. Damn. I
The
see
thing
two
is,
one.
the
2-1
defense
Arsenal.
is the only thing I trust about this team, honestly. Like a back four of Saliba, Raya, Gabriel, Timber. You know what? I will take that defense. But my God, the offense.
So I say 2-1, and you say
2-0.
2-0. And let me guess. No, Mo would say like 2-1 to Crystal Palace or something. Newcastle Bradford.
um, I honestly, this is like a tough kick because I was
Yeah,
still impressed with how Brentford played against Chelsea away.
yeah.
Um, honestly, I might say 2-1 Newcastle
2-1 Newcastle. I'm gonna say
just
what's it?
because Newcastle is at home.
Well, I actually say 2-1 Brentford to be honest. 2-1 Brentford. Okay. Next game is Southampton Liverpool.
6-0 Liverpool. I am done with the Southampton team. Relegate them right now. The game today was
Yeah.
horrendous.
So
Yo,
sad.
this team is actually hopeless. If you've seen the goal Spurs scored against Southampton, it's done.
So you actually say 0-6?
6-0. This team relegate them already. Just give other teams buys and just give them 3 points for the rest of the
Uh,
season. But this is a cup game.
I say 5-0.
Honestly, Southampton has been one of the worst recent teams that have been promoted.
Yeah, they're gonna get pummeled, especially after what happened last game. The big one, Tottenham United.
Honestly, the thing is, the Spurs is at home, but they've been one of the funniest inconsistent teams this season. Um,
You think Amorim takes them to semis?
it's doable just because I feel like this 2-1 United. I'm not gonna
Damn,
overthink this. 2-1 United
I'm gonna say 2-1 Tottenham. Even though I did want to say that too for you, but
because it's Southampton, so I'm not gonna. They have such a makeshift back four, even with like Forster and net, and even over like with Forster and like it was Southampton, so it caused
yeah,
them no stress. But I think they're going to be missing their starting center backs, Van der Ven and Romero still. So I feel like it could create with the high line that they play. I think like Hoyland, Amad Diallo can like take advantage of a high line with a makeshift back four.
yeah, yeah. Let's see. I
And
think it's a big
we can,
game.
if you want, to give Num Num, we can talk about Chelsea versus Shamrock Rovers.
Yo, stop. I don't know who Shamrock Rovers are.
It's a big game in the Conference League.
Yeah, fuck Conference League. I will never even want to talk about it or watch it ever in my life. Look at that nasty ass logo. If I actually was represented in this tournament, oh my god. But okay, those are the predictions. Leave your predictions below. We'll see who we get kind of right because I think Liverpool Southampton it might be the closest one we get. Newcastle Brentford could be anything. So we'll leave it
Listen,
at that.
we're gonna have to have one of us be the winners, so because we both have different results for Newcastle, Brentford, and Spurs United.
Yeah, but we go off prediction and score.
Yeah, just give me
So
2-0 Arsenal, and I'll take it for the bank.
listen, man, Crystal Palace are gonna give you something. I feel it. Like I legit feel it.
Of course, they have to come against us with confidence. They just beat Brighton.
Yeah, I can see it to be honest, and they beat them away from home. But I think, I think, like you said, Arteta will try to win this game. Like he'll want to go to semis and knowing what's happening
He's not known
in the
for
title
rotating, to be
race.
honest.
But
So it's like I'm expecting a
yeah,
strong 11.
win. And you guys played them in the weekend too.
Yeah, yeah, it's back to back. One, I think though,
Oh,
for the weekend's gonna be away.
wait, yep. GG.
12:30 prime time. Oh Lord.
I can't wait. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the podcast. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. Make sure to follow us on YouTube and listen on your way to work or wherever you are on Spotify or Apple Music right in your ear. So we'll leave it at that, guys. Thank you so much and have a great day. Peace.
Peace.
We talked longer than I thought.